Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Entitled Parents Reddit video. If you are new to the channel, then subscribe, and click on notifications so you don't miss out on the fun. In our first story, we learn some excellent parenting techniques from an entitled mother. Okay, so I come from a large family, and one of the things we enjoy is getting together to take the kids to the pumpkin patch and then meet up at my big sister's house for stew, carving, and dessert. We've missed doing this for the past 2 years, but that's another story. This happened in, I want to say, about 2012-ish. My family had all met up at one of our local pumpkin patches, and we were standing in line for kettle corn, hot dogs, hot chocolate, and caramel apples. You know, pumpkin patch snacks. Most of us had already finished with finding our pumpkins and decided to grab snacks before getting lost in the corn maze. While we were standing there, we hear this woman, entitled mother, saying things very loudly. "You are unbelievable, knock it off," etc. We all just kind of look at each other like, uh-oh, someone's in trouble. But we don't see where it's coming from right away. I then look over and see my best friend, we'll call her Amy, with her daughter, we'll call her Heather, 10 years old at the time, in tow, kind of rushing towards us with this crazy look of "what the flip" on her face. I notice she doesn't have their pumpkins yet. Couldn't find any good ones? Oh my god, no, we stopped looking cause it was getting crazy over there. Huh? What do you mean? Heather looked at Amy and said softly, "Mom, can we maybe get pumpkins later? You know, like after they leave?" "They" was whispered even more, followed by her giving a quick glance back to the area they just left. Amy said to her daughter, "Sure, sweetie." Then she looks at me and says in a hushed tone, "There's some lady over there yelling at some little girl. I think it's her daughter, but the girl is just crying that she wants some other pumpkin her dad got." Amy then continued to tell me that this little girl can't be more than 5 years old, and she just keeps saying, "No, I want daddy's pumpkin," to the entitled mother, but the entitled mother is not having it. Apparently, the child was firm and kind of soft-spoken at first, and the mom seemed like she was trying to hush the situation. But when the girl wouldn't give in, the entitled mother lost it and started yelling things like, "Knock it off! Just quit already!" Both Amy and Heather were standing fairly close to them, and when the entitled mother lost it, it made Heather jump and rush to Amy for protection. Amy told Heather, "Let's go find Haunted Dreamer 78 and see if she wants to help us pick one out." Heather agreed, and they rushed over to me. I looked down at Heather and asked if she wanted to do the corn maze first, and then we could get her a pumpkin. She was happy about that. Then I asked if she wanted a hot chocolate and started asking if she wanted to go stand with my mom and my little brothers, so she didn't get bored standing in line. When we heard the entitled mother start yelling again, this time she was marching past us, dragging her little one by the arm. No, not literally dragging. We would have stepped in if we saw that. So she's pulling her daughter out of the pumpkin patch and heading towards the exit and parking lot, all the while she's making these loud grunting exasperation noises, and my whole family is watching on trying to figure out what's happening. To be honest, everyone at the patch within earshot of this woman is watching. Then it happens. She pauses slightly in her grunting rampage towards the exit long enough to look at this 5-year-old child and says, "You ruin every family outing," and then continues towards the exit. We all just look at each other in shock, and then something else happens. Perfect timing. My son, who's 12 years old at the time, wasn't looking where he was going because he was distracted by the entitled mother as well, trips slightly on a hail bait and drops his hot chocolate on the ground. I looked at him and with a huge smile on my face, yell, in the most obnoxious entitled mother voice I can muster, "OMG, you ruin every family outing!" All I could hear was laughter. I looked over at the entitled mother and she was frozen in place for a minute before turning red and running out to the parking lot. No, no one clapped. It was just funny to those who witnessed her behavior, and yes, my son laughed too. He knew I was not serious. So now it's a family tradition to use this phrase anytime our family is together and something happens. My sister burnt the stew one year. I forgot a Christmas gift at home once. My son tripped and knocked a gaming system over, turning it off. Pretty much anything going wrong anytime gets this phrase. It just never gets old. In story number 2, an entitled grandmother wants to buy a cookie for her sweet grandchild. Just kidding, but she does want a cookie. I started a new job at a family-owned market at an orchard near where I live last week. I only work a few days out of the week due to college classes, but it's still nice to earn extra money where I can. The holidays are coming up, and entitled parents and grandparents are coming out of the woodwork, with kids left and right. These are 3 stories that do go with the title from the same day, where I said the phrase, "Sorry, ma'am, I don't make the rules." Since the place where I work is known for its vast pie and cookie options, I have sadly gotten tired of apple and pumpkin pies and chocolate cookie requests already. Hell, someone even asked for a pull-apart cake made of eclairs with "Happy Birthday" written across it. Thank any sky deity that 85% of the customers are actually nice, decent human beings and do leave apple and pumpkin flavored desserts a good taste in my mouth. But this isn't the right subreddit to post my bakery convenience store woes, just entitled parents. Story number 1. Cookies and grandmothers are usually the best together in any scenario in existence. Want extra cookie before bed? Here you go, sweetie. Cookies plus grandma plus entitlement? Not so much. At my workplace, we have cookies that we weigh so we know how much to charge people. Simple, right? One cookie no bigger than the size of an American half-dollar coin that weighs almost literally nothing would be less than 50 cents. Easy to just go up to the register, say it's 1 cookie and here's $1, and poof, cookie for cute grandson. But no, when entitlement is in play here, that is not the case at all. 999. This grandma that came up to my counter pointed to little cookies that are shaped like Dutch boys. I grab one and put it in the bag and she's like, hello? I pointed to the ones with sprinkles. I'm like, no problem, ma'am. I put the cookie I pulled from the display case on a counter and got her a sprinkled cookie literally not as big as a half-dollar coin. I put it in the bag and write the code for the cashier to put in to charge this lady less than 50 cents and give it to her. Again, literally less than 50 cents. She looks at the code and goes, "Are you seriously gonna charge me for a flipping cookie?" I reply, with no customer service smile behind my mask, "Thank you, CDC regulations. I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't make the rules." And her response is, "This is for my grandson," and then throws it on the counter at me. I just look at it for about a millisecond with a suppressed sigh. Of course that's what she does. Her daughter-in-law comes up with a kid no older than 2 and gives me an apologetic look and takes the bag and whispers an apology. I force a smile and serve another customer. Not without hearing the entitled grandma talking about not having free cookies for toddlers and how I'm a witch. Whatever, the cookie was 30 cents. Story 2. There has to be a scientific reason behind the way people walk in with this aura of whatever around them. If there is, this could explain how I knew this woman was a literal Karen without even looking at her. I could feel the shiver down my spine when I turned around with a fake smile and say, "How can I help you?" A dozen donuts and make it snappy. And she, of course, snaps her fingers at me like I'm her personal servant, and in her logic, I'm why she forgot to bring her donuts to the PTA meeting she's late to. "Of course, ma'am, I'll get those right away. You want fall season flavor, right?" I ask. "Oh my god, duh! Just get them! I'm late to my meeting!" she says exasperatedly while looking dramatically to the ceiling from her phone. I get them and she puts her card in the chip reader. Before she can go off hastily, I say, "Ma'am, please sign the receipt." "Why?" "It's protocol." "Are you going to steal my information?" Of course not. What do you want me to sign? I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't make the rules. You can just scribble whatever. She harshly scribbles on the receipt, hard enough to almost rip the thin paper, and power walks out of the store with the tacky flower pen. I have to turn away from the counter to process what the hell just happened for a moment. I then laugh to myself for 2 seconds and go on my 10-minute break half an hour early. Story number 3. I have the patience of a saint somehow. It must have blossomed from doing 5 years of childcare with rowdy children. A Chad comes up to the cash register with a young kid. He cuts in front of these 2 elderly women who speak more Italian than English. I tell him in a sickly sweet tone, "Sir, if you could give me a moment, I will be right with you." I get the ever so snarky, "Whatever, just hurry." I try to hurry with these women who ask for the price of the same item multiple times. "Oh my God, woman, the damn thing is flipping price, can't you hear?" he suddenly yells. "Sir, please don't use that language here. This is a child-friendly establishment." "I don't flipping care. My son is starving." I don't feed the beast and try to hurry with the elderly women. Not 2 seconds later, Chad throws down a $5 bill, yells, "It was $5 flipping dollars," and drags his kid out the door. I eventually finish with the ladies and my manager lets me go in the back to calm down. I'm very grateful. My Asperger's didn't decide to act up then and there. I don't understand why people act this way towards people they are buying stuff from, or towards people in general. This is nothing new to me, but it still boggles my mind. This is John from Slash Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more of them, then hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one.